Howdy, and welcome back to my backyard DIY sauna construction series. This is episode 3, where we're going to install the siding, ventilation, trim framing, and the custom glass window. Be sure to check out episodes 1 and 2 to see how we got here. After getting on the OSB, Tyvek house wrap, and the roof installed in the last episode, it was time to move on to the siding. Siding is the outer protective layer that keeps weather out of your sauna and also helps retain heat inside. It works with your insulation to create a proper thermal barrier, so you're not wasting energy heating the outdoors. I decided to start with the front since that was going to be the trickiest, as I had to measure and cut out negative space where the window and door would go, similar to how I did the OSB. After that, while I was installing the insulation, I purposefully left sections out where I planned to install the ventilation. Everything I've researched about sauna construction says proper ventilation is what separates a comfortable, breathable sauna experience from sitting in a stifling oven. The goal is creating a hygienic environment of even, gentle, indirect convective heat with continuous fresh air to breathe without high levels of CO2, VOCs, pathogens, carcinogens, or odors. According to Trumpkin's notes on sauna, proper ventilation should provide about 25 CFM or cubic feet per minute per person, with a supply vent positioned slightly below the high point in the sauna and at the opposite side and an end of the intake vent, which should be next to the heater so it can pull in fresh air. Okay, so here we are. When you walk into the sauna, still have to make the custom door here and waiting for my window to come in. But when you walk in, okay, the bench will be back here. It's going to be up high with the feet above where the heater's going, which is there. And then to the left of the heater, we have an air inlet. You can kind of see that from the outside here. So air vent inlet, so the heater can have that cold air under it. And then that cold air is going to come in. The heater's going to be right here. That hot air is going to rise and come up to the highest point in the sauna, which is this back wall here. And then on the far back right wall, there's another vent for that hot air to exit. And this can be closed or cracked during sauna use. So all that's left in here is heater wiring and lighting to go into the benches. That's why that's not insulated yet. I might also have to cut this way through the studs to bring the wire back. Still figuring out what I want to do there. And then all that's left is vapor barrier, furring strips, and then the heater goes on. And lastly, the bench goes in. And that's it for the inside. Before all that, I wanted to finish the exterior of the sauna completely, and all that was left was the trim. I had a bunch of 1x2s from my original order, and these serve a few purposes. One, it adds a little dimension to the sauna, but it also serves as a way to seal the joints of the OSB and siding, and the joint between the roof and the walls. After applying the trim strips to all 4 corners and all 4 walls, I spent a lot of time caulking the absolute shit out of it so that there was no place for moisture to hide. I probably went through about 9-10 tubes of caulk in this process. After that, it was a new day, and the custom pieces of glass I ordered from a local glass shop finally arrived. I looked really hard, but just couldn't find any glass that would actually be safe to use in a sauna because it needs to be both thick enough and heat treated to withstand the high temperatures of the sauna. Okay. I got in my 2 pieces of glass today, my 2 pieces of $500 glass. And these things are thick and heavy. So look how thick that glass is. I don't know if you can really see it on the camera, but it is thick. So I had to custom order these 2 pieces of glass. The larger one is the window, and it's 34 by 32 inches. And that smaller one is 12 by 24 inches, and it's gonna go in the door. So these are the only 2 pieces of glass in the build. They're very thick. I ordered them so that they were treated and can withstand the high temperatures of the sauna. I got the window in, and it's pretty much a perfect fit. There's a gap at the top, but that's okay. That means we can put like a nice trim at the top and bottom. The sides are kind of snug too, but you know, whatever. It's in there, it fits. Okay, yeah, with the rubber feet off, and also when we trim the Tyvek paper and the window flashing and put a little cedar plank or something in the top and bottom, it's gonna be a perfect fit. That is awesome. Look how thick that glass is. I mean, that is thick. Okay, I got the window framed up. 2 of the 4-inch cedar planks at the bottom and 1 at the top made this exactly 30 inches, which is the height of the window. And then I cut one of these in half to put here and here. So the idea is that the glass is gonna go right up against this. And I have some high temperature silicone sealant. I think this stuff goes up to 500 degree Fahrenheit, so it's high heat, which is well over what this sauna will ever get up to. And the idea is to silicone in here and up here and all the way around it. And then maybe I'll put in another thing in the front here, in the back here. I guess we'll see. Okay, got the window in and framed up nicely. It has silicone everywhere. Again, I use this high heat, up to 500 degrees silicone that I found on Amazon. And it is everywhere. So if you get close, you can see any gap between the frame and the windows covered with silicone. I kind of did a poor, messy job, but my plan is to come back with like a razor blade and chip away all of the excess silicone. So that's not great, but you know, I thought the whole point of this thing, aside from viewing, is to really keep that heat in there. So I really went thick with the high heat silicone so that hopefully we don't lose heat out of this window. And same thing on the inside. So lots of silicone. Not only did I do the high heat silicone in here, but even on like the gaps in the wood here and up here. So anywhere where there was a gap in this frame, I just layered on that high heat silicone. So I'm hoping to not lose any heat out of this area. And then I'm thinking, instead of, maybe I'll stuff some insulation here, but I'm just gonna cover the cedar plank to here. That way I don't have to mess with it too much. So I think I'm gonna put some insulation down here, and then I'll just leave this little gap right here, and the cedar plank will either stop here, up here I think it'll cover, and then here I'll just maybe leave the sides open. That's what I think I'm gonna do, because the sides kind of look nice, and it's the top and bottom that kind of look like shit. So window installed, and then once I do the door, same thing. The door will have another 12 by 24 lengthwise window in it. But yeah, it's coming along. I also cut a hole here to start to put the wiring for the heater, and I cut holes in the studs to run wire. I had to pull this insulation out for the lights that are gonna go behind the bench. So the idea is I have these, again, LEDs that I got on Amazon. They're like heat proof, waterproof. I think they're made for saunas, LEDs. I've seen them in other builds. And I'm gonna put those under the benches to light up the space, but not the people, which is, I think, the idea. I've insulated around both vents. This is the high heat vent where the hot air can escape. And this is the inlet here that's gonna go below the heater where that cold air can come in and create that convective loop. So again, everything I've read says you really need to have nice airflow. It's not a box that you cook in, it's a box where the heat goes over you. So ideally, that heat will come up. The highest point is the back and go out that side. And it has to travel across the people to get to that exit. So that's the idea. So we installed the siding, the ventilation, the wood trim, and the window, leading us to the end of this episode of my backyard DIY sauna build. In the next episode, we'll install the lighting, the vapor barrier, some of that nice cedar interior, and more. Thanks so much for watching. Don't be afraid to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.